Hello and welcome to my office here on the beautiful campus of Holy Cross College. My name is President Marco Clark, and I am delighted to be with you this evening for this State of the College address. Throughout the night, I invite you to ask any questions that you may have using the chat box on your Zoom screen. I'll answer as many of those questions as I can after I share a few words with you this evening. You know, it's hard to believe as we sit here almost on the verge of May the 1st that we're coming to the conclusion of our first year, my first year as president here at Holy Cross College. And what a great year that it's been. We've had so much fun, my wife Peggy and I, the first lady of the college, getting to know the students and the families and being embraced by this community. We've attended a lot of events. We've cheered on our Saints athletic teams. We've gotten to know our community. We've celebrated the victories, and we've cried together through hardships. We've attended concerts, participated in half-court shooting contests. I had fun tossing the frisbee in the quad with our students, conducting research in the labs with our students, reading scripture and poetry together, attending the Christmas tree lighting at Christmas time, listening to world-class scholars and theologians deliver lectures here on campus, including one that's taking place tonight. We had a carnival this year. My wife and I and 8 students danced with the stars just last week for the Center for the Homeless, and we even had a mechanical bull riding competition on campus. Through it all, we have fallen deeply in love with Holy Cross College, our students, the faculty and staff, the families, and this community of South Bend and the greater Michiana region. Throughout this first year, I've committed myself to listening and learning, and I've had several observations that I want to share with you tonight. First, let me say this. What a special place. There is a world-class faculty and amazing students that come together to learn in a mentoring culture, to be nurtured through a journey and accompanied through a journey in young adulthood. These faculty are researchers, they're scholars. If you have a chance, hop on our website and take a look at their published works. We've provided for you a summation of all of the research of the last 3 years from the faculty and staff here at Holy Cross. It's really quite impressive. The other thing that I've observed is that there is truly radical hospitality practiced at this place. They say there is such a thing as Hoosier hospitality, but I want to say it's Holy Cross hospitality. There's also a deep culture of care. Students that attend here are seen, they're known, they're loved, and they're served. There's also a beautiful and noble mission and a real commitment to our Catholic identity as a Holy Cross educational ministry. There's a few other practical observations I'll make. Number one is that this is a college that's completely debt-free. You know, in a world today, sadly and tragically, where we see smaller colleges and universities struggling and suffering from millions in debt, often leading to their closure, that's not the situation for this college, as it's a debt-free. The financial and fiscal stewardship of this Board of Trustees and the leaders in the administration over the years prior to me has placed us in a position to grow and to build upon. As well, wow. What can we say about location? This 45532 zip code, Notre Dame, Indiana, is arguably the most influential Catholic higher education zip code in the world. Where else can a student come and study and live in a tri-campus with Holy Cross priests and brothers and sisters, having the best of all worlds of a smaller school campus and the larger opportunities from an R1 research university with the notoriety of the University of Notre Dame and St. Mary's College. I also observe some great opportunities to grow and to strengthen. And this is what I'm confident of. This is our time here at Holy Cross College. There's so many things to celebrate in the immediate right now. You may or may not know that as a college this year, we have received the recognition as an emerging Hispanic serving institution. That's a designation in the country recognizing that we're serving a population of Hispanic students at 30% or above. And we see that population increasing in the future. There's opportunities for grant and additional support coming from government and foundation and state foundations and private foundations. As well, you may or may not know that Holy Cross College falls in the top 20% in the United States of all national liberal arts colleges in the area of social mobility ranking. So that is the graduation rate of Pell-eligible students, which for Holy Cross students is 90% in 4 years. That's a remarkable statistic, considering that it's fewer than 40% nationwide, and for Pell-eligible students, even lower. We're ranked number 52 in the country nationally. That demonstrates that real commitment to the culture of care and accompaniment, the gifted and hardworking students who choose to come here. I've also really happy to share that we've received double the application numbers for our freshman class this year, and we're looking forward to a record enrollment in the freshman class this coming fall. There's a lot to be excited about. The word is out about Holy Cross College. Let's share some of the immediate excitement. In just a couple of weeks, we're going to celebrate the graduation of 96 students, 23 of whom are receiving their associate's degrees, and 73 more who are receiving bachelor's degrees. And let's not forget our MCI program, the Moreau College Initiative, which also, just a few days after our commencement, will celebrate their commencement. These men who are at Westville State Prison are there studying to receive their associates and their bachelor's degrees in liberal studies. It's really special. Our keynote speaker for our commencement is Father Fred Jenga, a Holy Cross priest. On June 15th, Holy Cross Family Ministries announced Father Jenga as the next president of Holy Cross Family Ministries. In this role, he follows in the footsteps of the Venerable Patrick Peyton, spreading the devotion to Mary and encouraging family prayer, especially the Rosary. Holy Cross Family Ministries' mission is dedicated to inspiring, promoting, and fostering the prayer life and spiritual well-being of families throughout the world. Father Jenga has a BA in theology from Catholic University of Eastern Africa, Nairobi, and a Bachelor of Philosophy from the Pontifical Urban University in Rome. He has multiple degrees in communications, both in Africa and at San Francisco State University here in the United States. And he recently completed a doctorate in communication from the University of Texas in Austin. Father Fred was born in Uganda, where he grew up on the banks of the River Nile and Lake Victoria in the Ugandan district of Jinja. He speaks numerous languages, is a dear friend, is one of the top leaders in the Congregation of Holy Cross worldwide. We're delighted to welcome him for our commencement. Let me share some news with you academically as well. As of this date, we've established 18 new formal pathway graduate agreements with graduate schools, including, but not limited to, the Tri-Campus. And what that represents for our seniors now is that they have over 50 guaranteed seats each year in those programs. In fact, just last week in one of these new agreements, we awarded our very first guaranteed seat in the Doctorate of Physical Therapy program at Andrews University to an incoming first-year student. And we expect there'll be many more of these to come in the years ahead. We also now have established 19 distinctive academic tracks within and across all majors at Holy Cross College. Some of the newest ones include neuroscience, exercise science, school counseling, just to name a few. The most recent track that was approved was the Applied Math and Data Science track within the new mathematics major, which was just approved by the Academic Council and approved by the Higher Learning Commission in record time. I have two cool stories that I want to share with you as well. One of our seniors, Gabe Zarazua, he'll be graduating in just a couple of weeks. Gabe comes to us from Texas, and while here at Holy Cross, he was cultivated in his love and gift for art. This year, Gabe was part of the small cohort that designed the shirt for the new Notre Dame football season. And as everybody knows, anybody that's familiar with this space, the shirt is one of the most iconic annual design reveals in all of college sports. And Gabe was on the team that produced this year's winner. On campus, he has been a leader in the classroom and as a resident assistant. After graduation, Gabe will be heading to New York City, where he's been accepted to the prestigious School of Visual Arts to pursue his dream of entering the world of comic illustration. Got a great cool story to share with you as well about a professor and her research combined with students. Dr. Cosette Fox, Associate Professor of Psychology and the Chair of our Department of Social Sciences, is known not only as an amazing teacher, but also a devoted mentor. But I would like to highlight the pioneering way in which she is leading students in research projects that make an impact on our world. For years, Dr. Fox has been a national leader in research around the impact of growth mindset, studying the way this approach to confidence and achievement can improve everything from parenting to teaching to daily life. All the while, she has involved students in her research. When you see her published papers, you'll also see the names of Holy Cross students as her co-authors of the articles. Last semester, she took this co-research to a whole other level when she, and Professor Annette Romans, they brought a group of Holy Cross students to Lebanon. No, not Lebanon, Indiana, folks, Lebanon, Dr. Fox's home country. There they met with, helped, and studied the effect of growth mindset and melatonin and serotonin on stress and anxiety on refugee children. The experience was life-changing for all, and it's only the start of ways that Dr. Fox and Holy Cross College will engage students in active research projects that are directly relevant to providing hope and healing to a suffering world. We've got some great news on the front as well in the area of advancing our mission. But one of the things that I've discovered along the way is that the great story of Holy Cross College is one that too many people don't know about. And we have to do a better job of elevating our brand and elevating our profile. We've already begun a branding study with the great folks from Force 5, and we're in the first stage of gathering current college materials. As we move through the process, we're going to be engaging alumni, current students, parents, both current and past, community members, and leaders in the community through the process and helping to better articulate our brand and our brand promise and our real value proposition. It's important work that we have ahead. We've seen a banner year as well in our fundraising efforts. We're growing the advancement office. We've added new members of that team to help support the current and future needs of the college. Currently, the dollars that have been raised compared to the previous year are up 60%. And it's so important, those unrestricted dollars that come in and help to offset the operational budget, that provide opportunities directly for students and student support and scholarship, that go to support the programs, the travel abroad programs, and the needs of the college. By giving to the unrestricted giving, the annual fund at Holy Cross College, you help to maintain the affordability and to provide even more opportunities for our students. This year, we've seen a record number of donors. Our total donors are up 50% over this time last year. Now, our alumni donations, and here's maybe a little bit of a challenge. About 11% of our alumni to date this year have given to the annual fund. Now, folks, it doesn't matter what amount that is. What does matter is the percentage of giving. And that contributes in a lot of ways, more than just financial. It also helps in our recognition nationally. Organizations like the U.S. News and World Report, they use this rating when they evaluate Holy Cross. And a higher rating means a higher ranking. A higher ranking means your degree is worth more. And that's important for our graduates, for our programs, for graduate school recognition, for internships, and for future job opportunities. Your gift not only helps future saints, but it helps you as well. So alumni, we're calling on you in this final quarter of the fiscal year, which goes through June 30th, to consider making a contribution to the annual fund. We're also in the process right now of conducting a feasibility study to explore what the possibilities are for future growth here at Holy Cross College. Many of you have been identified as people that we'll be reaching out to over the course of the next few months to hear feedback on the initiatives and the goals that we have, as we'll outline in a few minutes, in the vision for the future of Holy Cross College. I'm also really pleased to share with you that we have received national and international recognition by Catholic news outlets. The journal The Pillar will be visiting Holy Cross College in the fall, writing an article about this college and our own Catholic identity. As well, we're going to be featured in the Catholic Herald, which is in the UK. The Catholic Herald chronicles the top U.S. Catholic colleges. They have 1 million hits on their website every month, 330,000 U.S. subscribers to the magazine, and they're going to include 4 full-page ads. They're going to do an interview with me, and they've designated us to be in one of the top 10 Catholic colleges and universities in the United States. It's an exciting time for Holy Cross College. Let me tell you a little bit about student life. The students have been so we're approaching exam week, so there's a little bit of stress on campus. But in the weeks that have led up to this, if they've gone through their semester, They've also had a chance to enjoy trips for art and culture to the Chicago and Art Institute. Our junior class took a trip to Holland, Michigan for their winter festival. And the seniors, get a load of this. They're taking a trip to the Kentucky Derby next month. Just a few weeks ago, we had a successful and fun spring formal, which is a tradition that was renewed. We haven't had it since before the COVID-19 pandemic. We had great student turnout and attendance. Our athletic seasons, all season long, from the fall through the spring, have also been highly competitive. But right now, as we sit here in the spring, both the men's and women's tennis and men's and women's golf teams are experiencing banner seasons, ranked in the top 20 in the country. We have conference champions in golf and in tennis. And just this weekend, they'll be competing for their conference finals and ultimately placement in the national tournament. Hey, our students have even gotten involved in pickleball. We joined a competitive intramural pickleball program in the tri-campus area, and I hear that the Holy Cross Saints are dominating. And then there are every Friday afternoon, what we call our Fridays at 4, where we feature alumni and invite them back, alums in the business community who share their life experiences, give tips and pointers, share opportunities for mentoring. This Friday, for example, we'll be inviting back LeVar Barnett, who's also a member of our Board of Trustees. And a few weeks ago, Corey Edmonds, a member of the Board of Trustees. If you, as an alum, would like to come back to Holy Cross College and share your story and share your wisdom, please join us for the Fridays at 4. And of course, practicing good fiscal stewardship and making sure that we are managing and mitigating risk to protect our students and our campus is always foremost on our minds. We're in the process now of moving to a new and updated, fully integrated technology system, which will enhance the user experience and the interaction between family and student and the school. Our overall financial situation continues to be strong, despite the tough headwinds and the challenging times facing higher ed. Our Holy Cross endowment pool is invested through the Notre Dame endowment pool, which in the past couple of years has enjoyed among the highest returns in the country, and which has mitigated a challenging investment market to minimize losses. Thus, our endowment is still strong and will continue to grow. We're also in the process right now of master planning for our future, taking a look at those opportunities for growth and enhancement to our current facilities. Now, let me shift gears with you for a moment and share a bit about our vision for the future. So over the past 2 years, this community has engaged in a strategic planning process spearheaded by our Board of Trustees. And I was fortunate enough to pick up on that process in the fall. And we formed a strategic planning steering committee who I'm eternally grateful for the hundreds of hours that they've logged in, collecting data, conducting interviews, reading the research, looking at the trends, listening to the stories. And what we've identified and that we'll be releasing next month, following approval from our Board of Trustees, is a strategic plan that is inspirational, that is aspirational, and that is operational. And within it, it contains 5 themes. First and most importantly is a recommitment, a zeal for our mission, uniquely a zeal in which we deepen our commitment to education and formation in the Catholic Holy Cross mission and charism. That means across all programs. That means across the curriculum, in the way that we work and interact with one another every day. There's something distinctive about a Holy Cross education, the encounters that get created with Christ each and every day, as building disciples with hope to bring. So number 1 is zeal for mission. Number 2 has to do with our academic program and the academic culture. And it comes from the quote from Blessed Basil Moreau that says, "The mind must not be cultivated at the expense of the heart." So under this theme, this pillar of educating hearts and minds, it's our goal to become widely recognized for our innovative and distinctive liberal arts education. We're putting a stake in the ground in an era today where the liberal arts are being overlooked and overshadowed and undersold. We're putting the stake in the ground and saying Holy Cross College is committed to the liberal arts. And it's going to be the liberal arts steeped in Catholic mission and the common good, the Catholic intellectual tradition, Catholic social teaching, and the Holy Cross mission. It's going to be infused with dynamic, high-impact teaching and learning experiences. It's going to be oriented toward human flourishing and addressing the grand challenges facing the modern world. We'll have a focus on high-impact teaching practices, and we'll focus particularly on 4 academic disciplines that will enhance in business, in IT and computer science, in education, and in the health sciences. You know, even as I talk about IT and computer science, I'm proud to say that just recently our students participated in an international competition in cybersecurity. 3,600 schools participated, and our students finished in the top 200 in both teams that we submitted. There are exciting times ahead. We're going to be adding more majors. We're going to be building more automatic pathways to graduate schools. And as a small college, we're able to be nimble in forming these unique interdisciplinary tracks to be able to provide students all that they can get in their college experience. And we'll continue to leverage the amazing relationships with Notre Dame and St. Mary's, in a place where the student ID that a student has here can access even more services and more programs and more opportunities on the Tri-Campus. Point number 3 is to focus on providing a transformational student experience. You know, sadly, since the COVID-19 pandemic, many colleges and universities are struggling to recreate student life. And it's our goal to transform student life by enhancing the physical and the technological infrastructure of the college, and by providing and promoting formative student experiences that are rooted in our Holy Cross Catholic identity. So what's that going to look like? Well, first and foremost, the question often gets answered is, are students college ready today? Well, at Holy Cross College, we're asking the question, are we student ready? It's important that we provide the holistic supports academically, personally, social and emotionally and spiritually for our students, providing them with advisors and career advisors and mentors and success coaches, making sure that we meet them where they are, and ensuring and empower them to be successful and to thrive. We're going to put greater attention towards our many extracurricular programs in athletics, in the arts, within the community with community service, globally, and within campus ministry. And of course, we're looking at facilities. What are those facilities that we can be adding to contribute to the health and well-being of our campus? Student union, health and wellness centers, and so much more. Point number 4 is the importance of advancing and continuing to advance our mission. So we look to reimagine our approach to marketing, development, and engagement to strengthen our identity, build brand awareness, and provide for a thriving future. Just last night, I was in Indianapolis and had the opportunity to meet with alumni and parents and family and friends from that region. And I was approached at the end of the night by someone who said, you know what, I haven't really thought about my alma mater in the 11 years since I graduated. He said, you brought that pride back to me. Folks, we've got a lot to be proud of. This is indeed a special place. And what we need is we need your help. We need your help to be ambassadors in your community. We need your support. We need you to help us with the connections. We need you to champion Holy Cross College and be proud of the place that this is. And then the 5th and final point is, if we want to be here for the next 50, 100, 150, and 200 years, we must be committed as saints today and saints for all eternity. So our goal is to grow the college strategically and sustainably while enhancing operational efficiency and workplace excellence. In 5 years, when we accomplish the goals set out in this plan, we have a vision for a vibrant and expanded campus that prides itself on academic excellence, on faith formation, and on high-impact teaching and learning. The student body will be actively engaged in academic and student life and will be deeply rooted to a college that offers programs that widen access while enhancing outcomes in learning. We see a campus that is in solidarity with the world as global citizens who have participated in culturally immersive learning opportunities and possess a deep concern for life and for creation. We see a campus in which our students are flourishing academically, personally, socially, and spiritually, in the classroom, in athletics, and in health and wellness programs, in the arts and innovation, through campus ministry, in praise and worship, and in service and leadership to the community, complete with facilities that allow for their intellectual, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. We envision a place that is providing an elite, Catholic higher education, grounded in the virtues of faith, love, charity, humility, and hope. A place of vocational formation, which helps students find their life's calling and learn how God is shaping them into the people they were born to be. A place that leads students to embrace a deep desire to serve others and that inspires students to be virtuous leaders who possess the competence to see the needs of the world, the prudence and the wisdom to judge what needs to be done, and the courage to act and to do it. We see a college that's an exemplar in Catholic higher education of the ideals to develop the fullness of our humanity in Christ's image. We see a college committed to forming its students in these dispositions that point towards holiness, towards being saints, and in that which makes genuine holiness possible. In sum, we envision a college that helps our students to be saints today and saints for all eternity. I have one final ask of you as we come to the close of the academic year and to this talk this evening. I just ask you to pray for our students. Pray especially for our seniors as they enter the next phase of their lives, to continue to pray for the college, to continue to pray for us and our leadership team, and to continue to pray that we may help to form and create a more loving and just society. Holy Cross College is a special place. It's a place in which we are intentional about forming the next generation of innovative scholars, courageous citizens, virtuous leaders, and hopeful disciples. Blessed Basil Moreau, the founder of the Congregation of Holy Cross, stated that our whole lives should have as its aim to assimilate the thoughts, judgments, desires, words, and actions of Jesus Christ. In other words, we're called upon and are intentional about being saints. Ave Crux Bezonica. Hail the cross, our only hope. And I invite you at this time to please ask any questions that you may have and place them in the chat. And we do see a couple of them rolling in here. So the first question that I see says that there are many questions today surrounding the value of a college degree. Are you able to provide your thoughts on this? So it is true. Sadly, we live in a state and even in the country of which we've seen a decline in the number of high school graduates who are matriculating for a college degree. And there are many needs in society, and they're going into society to meet those needs. And there are many alternatives in post-secondary education. But let us not forget, right, and the statistics and the research have shown this for many, many years, it's more than just an economic boost with a college degree. It's also the engagement in society. It's the pro-social behaviors. It's the longevity and lifespan. It's the happiness index. We know that there is much to be said for upward mobility, for responsible engagement, for ethical treatment of society. And those things come from being able to attain a college degree, especially in a setting like Holy Cross College, which is a place that's intentional about that formation, particularly in virtue and in ethics and in empathy and in kindness and in the common good. So yeah, it is a challenge. The cost of college has become a challenge. One of the big challenges is access. How do we improve access, especially for underserved and under-resourced students? And that's a place that Holy Cross College has made a commitment to. We will be engaging in the new year in a campaign to help the affordability question, which pervades with so many. So we can begin to remove the barriers and then provide all the supports for people to be able to go through this journey while we accompany them through to attain that college degree. Ultimately, to become virtuous leaders in society, we want to help them as well have the competence to see and the courage to act. And so hence, yes, it is true, as we see this decline in school-age children heading, who are choosing not to go into and pursue a baccalaureate degree, we have to understand and help to change that narrative, because we know, those of us that are on this call this evening, we know the value of that college degree. So the next question I see here, that there's many questions which I think I might have addressed, talking about the value of a college degree. There's also been a critique about the liberal arts education. Is it relevant? How might I answer that? So I'm going to share two examples with you. It just happened with me recently. So probably one of the most inspirational days that I've had here at Holy Cross College was the day that I visited the Westville State Prison, where we have the good fortune this year to educate 66 men who are there to attain their associate's or their bachelor's degree. And these men are hungry, thirsting for knowledge. And they see this as their opportunity upon graduation to change the trajectory of their lives after they are released from prison. Interestingly enough, there was a government official that visited these students and suggested that perhaps they should introduce a vocational training program to them. And one of the students raised his hand and said, "But let me ask you, where did you get your college degree and what was it in?" And sure enough, it was a college degree here in the state of Indiana from a liberal arts college. And he said, for you to aspire to the leadership position that you're in, it took that liberal arts degree. And that's what we aspire to as well. Right? So we know the value of the liberal arts degree. Again, it's controlling that narrative that is pretty strong against it, but the research proves otherwise. The other example I'll give you, I was just in Silicon Valley a couple of weeks ago, and I met with a venture capitalist, one of the people who contributed to some of the biggest names in the dot-com boom. And he said this to me. He said, "Marco, the trouble that's being experienced in Silicon Valley today," and by the way, this was before the Silicon Valley Bank collapse and before some of the scandals that we've seen of the fake dot-coms that have been created. He said, the trouble is it's been all focused on the technology and not at all focused on the ethics and empathy and common good. That moral centeredness that we learn through the Catholic liberal arts. And he said, if you all can figure that out, then you'll establish for yourself a special designation and recognition in this country. Let's see what else. As the enrollment increases over the years, how can we make sure Holy Cross maintains a mentorship approach to our students? This is an important question, right? So part of the way we approach this is that we have to look at the student to faculty member ratio, which is roughly today about 10 to 1. Average class sizes here are 15. We must remain committed to that. So as we grow, and we do see ourselves growing incrementally, and if anybody's worried about us becoming a college of 2,000 or 3,000 or 30,000, we're talking about growing by maybe another 300 or 400 from where we are today, perhaps getting to a double in size. So still keeping it below 1,000 students so that we can maintain that family and community base that is what we're known for, so that we can maintain that mentoring culture. So it's in small class sizes, it's in having full professors in the classroom, and it's in having all the holistic supports and services to support our students. Let's take a look at another question. Have you considered, let's go up there, yep. You mentioned that a record number of students have applied this year. This is exciting news, but what is being done to assure ample space for rooming, dining, classroom spaces available for all students at all grade levels? Are there concerns with the school growing too rapidly? No, you know what, we have to be, that's a great question, and thank you for that. We have to be thinking about this incrementally and strategically, right? And so we know there is a campus master plan in place right now. We're in the process of currently designing another dormitory to accommodate 100 students. With that, will give us the opportunity to then go into some of the older facilities and renovate those to create those into more modern dormitory-style living. As well, we've got great relationships, as we have with University Edge. But it's our goal to bring those students at University Edge back on campus again. So there is an incremental growth plan for this. What we can assure is that with the record number of students coming in next year, all freshmen will have a place on campus. Most of the sophomores will be able to have a place on campus. We know that many of them begin to move off campus at that time as well. So rest assured that we remain committed to that. Part of what we need to build is we need to build campus life. We need to build residential life. And so if we're growing and we don't have space to house people, if we don't have the student union space and the dining space and the multiple dining options, then really we do defeat that purpose. So we have to be able to grow our infrastructure along with our human resources and our planning and program commensurate. And so as we go through this planning process, those are all happening in tandem with one another. There's a question that says, have you considered a fixed cost transparency approach like many other colleges are doing in order to be competitive? That's a great question. Part of our next phase in the strategic plan are to explore these options. We don't have an answer for that question today, but it is something that we seek to address in the strategic plan. Let's move on to another one. Well, I love this one. Dr. Clark, what's your favorite place on campus? So I love the Hesburgh Grove. So for those of you that perhaps don't know where the Hesburgh Grove is, it's right there at the Millennial Arch, dedicated to Father Hesburgh, who is a great hero and inspiration to me as a Catholic higher ed leader. And so often, especially with the most complex of questions, I'll sit and ponder and pray in the Hesburgh Grove. I will also say it's really very special to go to benediction and adoration in the St. Joseph Chapel and to attend the daily and the weekly Mass there on Sunday nights. So I would have to say that those are my two favorite places. Question says, when do you anticipate breaking ground on the new dorms? Well, as we now approach the end of this year and our final board meeting of the year, we're going to be discussing that plan. When that decision is made, it in essence is a 2-year process. Right? So what we hope to do is we hope to come forward with a plan that allows us to begin construction, to begin planning and construction, so that in this, understanding that it's a 2-year process, so that in this next 2 to 5 years, we'll be able to see these new structures to begin to emerge on our campus. This one says, as a parent who's excited about the growth opportunities at Holy Cross, how can one best get involved and contribute to helping advance the plan in the future for Holy Cross College? So let me just first off say thank you. It's exciting tonight. We have several new families who have just enrolled their students for next year that are a part of tonight's call. We have several current families as I look at people from all over the country on this list of attendees. We even have some that have not made their decision yet as to whether or not Holy Cross College will be the place for them. And so these parents, those of you that are reaching out, so Jude-Ann Hastings, the Vice President for Advancement, is the person that you should be in contact with. You can reach me as well. But there are opportunities. We're in the process now of forming affinity groups and advisory councils. So there may be an advisory council for you, an advisory council in computer IT, an affinity group for parents, an affinity group for our gateway families and their unique experience, an alumni association. The provost is forming an advisory council, and there'll be others. And we'll be inviting people to bring your talents and bring your wisdom to the table to be a part of these advisory councils. So it looks like one last question I think we'll take. It says, what impact, positive and negative, might an increase in government funding have on the college's mission and vision? Let me just say this. We do not, and it is not my philosophy to chase cash at the expense of our mission and our Catholic identity. So if there's a trade-off to be had, the mission and Catholic identity is not the one that we'll be trading off. So as we pursue these, we have to obviously tread carefully, to do our research carefully. Holy Cross has received federal funds. In fact, if you consider federal student aid, the top funder that supports Holy Cross College is our federal government. And there are many, many more untapped resources out there. We're going to begin with a consulting firm out of Washington, D.C. that will help us to lobby for some of these efforts. And there's a lot to be had that have gone untapped in past years that we'll be reaching out to. But rest assured, we will not chase that cash at the expense of our mission and our identity. So folks, as we wrap up tonight, and as we wrap up this academic year, and as I reflect back on this first year as president at Holy Cross College, something I said at my inauguration is that my heart is filled with gratitude. My heart is humbled by the opportunity and, quite frankly, the responsibility to lead during these challenging times. But my heart is also hopeful and confident that there's an even better future for this college. And I keep saying I can't wait for the day, with what you heard tonight, with what you know about Holy Cross College, with the experiences that we've had since our founding in 1966, and the stories that I've heard from countless alumni who talk about Holy Cross College to be the place that helped them to level up in life, that formed them into the people that they are today. I keep saying I can't wait until more of our Holy Cross graduates are the ones that are sitting in positions of influence in the boardrooms of America, in the operating rooms of America, in the courtrooms and legislative offices of America, in the dining rooms and kitchens and living rooms, in the classrooms, in the churches, in our communities, and with one another. Because when that happens, the world will be a better place. Ave Crux Spes Unica. We are saints today. We are saints for all eternity. I hope to see you sometime this summer and in the months ahead. May God bless you.